already streaming. Okay, so like I said, I was doing some scalping this morning. So my normal chart setup in the morning, I have the RTY on the right, RTY on the right, YM in the middle. Already streaming. Okay, so hang on, I'm just doing some scalping. YM in the middle, and right now I've got crude oil, and it has rolled over. CL5. CL space 05-26 is the ninja symbol. Crude has more volume on contract May. I scalped this little candle right there. That pushed down to the low. I scalped that. And I scalped the NQ, a little bit of its move up. Not enough. I didn't stay in the trade very long. Today I get rid of the dogs. My daughter's been stuck in Hawaii for 2 days with no planes flying because of storms. And I'm ready to get rid of these dogs. I can't take it anymore. One of the dogs I watch is mentally ill, and it's a pretty unbearable dog to watch. She's really difficult. She's a senior dog, so I don't blame her, but it still doesn't change the fact that she's unbearable to watch. All right, I was looking at oil magnets this morning. I don't usually look at oil magnets. When you turn on the magnet, it's a separate strategy. You right-click the chart, you click strategy, and then you just turn on double-click magnet 2.0. When you double-click magnet 2.0, you get your choice of what you want to edit, and I believe the default is off. More often than not, I'm doing a high of day, low of day magnet. Those are my favorites, high of day, low of day. Then you set up the trade right underneath. You don't have to change the proximity. Default is 3. Just leave it alone. Position size is 1 default. Target 1 is -3. That means 3 ticks before you get to the high or 3 ticks before you get to the low, you're going to exit the trade. That's your first target. My stop is 35 ticks. Everything else I'm leaving on default. Everything else I'm leaving on default. I'm just scrolling down to the label under setup, and I'm labeling it whatever instrument I'm trading and the name of it, CL Magnet. I'm not changing anything else at the moment. I'm really just watching signals on crude. I don't usually trade crude all that much, except in the morning we've been experimenting. We had a good crude trade that truthfully stopped working. It stopped working about a month ago. Now the oil CL magnet, I'm going to leave it on off because I'm just going to monitor signals. So I'm just leaving it on off.
Fars News reports that several explosions were heard in the Iran capital of Tehran.
I'm not that interested in doing anything with crude now except getting set up for the open. We have a breakout on the market open, and it's been working. It's not, as I've said day after day, it's not really a vetted trade. We didn't do much testing on it. In fact, we've done none. Well, I take it back. When we first set up the original range crude trade that we were doing 3 months ago, we did look at the breakout at the open, and it was not moving very much. Then the world blew up. And since the world has gone wild, crude's been moving at the open. And we started trading it last week we started looking at the market open. So I'll keep trading it until it stops working, which it will. But while it's working, I'll keep trading it. I was going to say you could try it with MCL, but you've got to do all different testing. MCL does
In 10
not
minutes' time now at
break out
8:55 a.m. Eastern
the
Time, we
same
get the
way that
US Red
CL
Book year
does.
over year.
It
The
just
prior read
doesn't.
was 6.2%.
It moves very differently. Most of the whatchamacallit micros don't move exactly the same as their big brothers and sisters. I traded gold this morning and it hit target one and then kind of reversed for me. I don't know how I feel about that trade, and I don't know. But the mini micro silver's been working for you. So maybe I'll try that one. It's less risk too. So let's talk about the oil open. It's a breakout trade. Right click the chart, click strategy, double click news trader, and then up on trade type, you just leave it on breakout trade. All right. This particular trade is going to trigger, the orders are going to go on the chart at 8:59 Eastern Time. If your local time is an hour before me, use your local time. Don't use my time if you're not in my time zone. Okay? The bracket we've been using is 15. Position 1 is a 1. That means we have one contract on position 1. Position 2 is a 1. That means we have one contract on position 2. It's a 2-position trade. So that means we have 2 targets, potentially 8. And my second target is 20. My stop loss at the moment is 20. Target 1 stop move right above stop loss means if the trade hits target 1, move the stop to where? So I'm going to move the stop to BE, break even, if my first target gets filled. Target 1 stop move, BE. All right, break even. That's the trade I'm using. I'm going to scroll down. You have to choose the account that you're trading in. Label the trade, very important. You could call it CL Open, CL Breakout. That's up to you. Just make sure you label it. And then apply it and OK it. I didn't choose the account I want to trade it in because I'm looking to see. So I brought back my number 32. My number 32 account is like $150 away from being funded. So I'm not going to trade the oil open on that. But I'll trade number 37, which I traded last night and lost some money on Australia. See if we can get that back. So we'll trade account number 37 on the oil open. I'm down like 128 bucks. So I'm going to right click the chart, click on strategy, highlight the breakout trade. I'm going to scroll down to the account, if I can find it, under setup, and I'm going to change it from SIM to the number account that I said. Did I say 37? I'm losing it. And before we go, I'm going to set the time to 0. Time is 0 for a minute. I want the bracket to generate immediately. on Sim, so I'm putting my account back on Sim, apply and OK. My charts are on Sim. If you turn on enable a trade in
Order
Sim,
submitted.
you'll get your brackets because it thinks time has
Order
already
canceled.
passed, right? It thinks time has already passed, so it generates the bracket
It's been 5 minutes time now at 8:55
early.
a.m. Eastern
Now, I
Time
don't
with the US
love
Red Book year over
our
year. The
vertical
prime rate
Order
is
line.
submitted.
6.2%.
Order
Over the
canceled.
years, it's come to annoy me. So I'm going to right-click strategy, highlight our breakout trade, scroll down to optional, show vertical line on entry. I can turn that off by unchecking it. And I'm going to put my time back to the correct time that this trade should trigger. 8:59:59. So now my trade is set up. Put the account on the account I said I wanted to trade. 37. Apply. OK. And then make sure your chart trader is on the account you're trading or you won't see your orders. And in the control center, turn on your trade, enable it. And now we're ready to go. So I'm watching oil magnets, right? Because I have magnets turned on, but it's turned on, but I'm not looking at a high of day, low of day. I'm looking at off, which means just look at signals that are getting generated. Okay? So I'm looking at signals that are getting generated. VWAP and high of day, low of day. That's what will show up. But I'm also going to set up a reverse continue on the chart, a separate reverse continue. So I'm going to right click, click strategy. I put a reverse continue on every chart. It gives you the opportunity to scalp a market safely as possible, after the news, before the news, after a trade is a winner, after a trade is a loser. It's an opportunity. So click, right click the chart, add another strategy to the chart, double click News Trader, change the trade type to reverse continue. And I'm just trading one position, one contract. So position one is a 1. My target is 25 ticks. My stop is 25 ticks. And I will trade it in the same account that my breakout's set up on because I'm not trading them at the same time. I'm also going to label it CL reverse continue. The reason you trade it in the same account on the same chart is because during news, like the open, you're not going to have time
Sky News Arabia,
to
Saudi
change your
Israeli Channel
chart
12, on an
to a
Israel
different
official
account
that says that
while
we
the
have plans
open's
to
going
attack
on.
targets in Iran
Should you
during the next
decide
6 weeks.
to put a reverse continue on, maybe the breakout doesn't trigger, maybe the breakout is very fast. You don't want to be fumbling around changing charts and accounts during your trading. That's what you do before you trade. Set up your charts and accounts before the trade. And that's why everything gets labeled. So you can cancel a trade should you want to cancel it, remove it from the control panel, turn it off. So we have our CL
We're shortly
magnet. We're
expecting the
just
results from the
watching
US Red Book year over year.
signals. We have our CL breakout, which is the open trade. Okay. We just tested the brackets on that. And then I set up a CL reverse continue. And that gives you an instant long button and an instant short button. If I wanted to go in the market with a reverse continue, if I want to go short, I just press the instant short button. And it uses the trade setup that we just typed in. 25 tick target, 25 tick stop. So oil is ready to go. Will it work as a breakout? I'm just trading it in a random prop account that's just fairly newish and just barely profitable. It's not a very special account.
US
I'm
Redbook year over year coming in at 6 spot 4%, 6 spot
looking to
4%.
trade better events in accounts, that are close to being funded. And then the best of the best events, I'm trading in the funded account. Right now I have one. And we opened a Lucid account because Lucid lets you trade corn. I wish they would let me trade bonds, but they don't. Now it really looks like oil wants to sell off. Since I got here looking at oil, it's been negative. Yeah, Nit and I finally got it open. I still don't believe that if I make $150 5 days in a row, I can do a payout. Is that really true, guys? Is that really true? That cannot be true. How much can you ask for? So you make 750. How much can you ask for? Okay, half of your total profits. So I'm going to start working on that Lucid account, I think. But it is somewhat, yeah, it's always good to build buffers, definitely. And it seems like you can trade Lucid with other prop accounts. In other words, I can trade it at the same time as my Rhythmic stuff. So they have a sale going on now. I think it was like $63. And I haven't read anything. I'm just trying it. So oil, we're waiting for the market open. In the morning on the YM, I always put on a reverse continue. All right, so we're going to put on what we put on. I think I'm going to take off the oil. I was going to say I was going to take off the oil magnet because I don't have a lot of room on my control panel.
We are shortly expecting the ECB bond holdings for the week.
I always put a reverse continue on the YM. So I was trading the NQ so I can adjust it. Position 1 is a 1. I do a 35 tick target and a 35 tick stop on my YM reverse continue. Then I don't do anything else really except uncheck the vertical line under optional, choose the correct account. All right. So YM we've been trading pretty well in the mornings. I'll trade that in an account that's almost funded and we'll label it YM reverse continue. Apply it and OK it. Check it, and now I have a YM reverse continue. I'll also put, oh, let's get ready for the oil open. I was going to say I put a YM magnet on. I already have one for
The
the
effective Fed fund
NQ,
rate is unchanged at
so I'll just
3.64%.
adjust it. 35 ticks. I'll make it 50 ticks, one position. Same account. And and just rename it YM instead of NQ. So we have a YM magnet on. I'm not doing anything with the YM. I really wish oil looks like it wants to fill short, but the move could be
Order
done.
canceled.
Oh, what did I do wrong? Oh, I know I did something stupid, you
Qualcomm
guys.
increased their quarterly dividend
On
and
my
announces
oil
a new $20
breakout, I
billion
bet
stock repurchase
I put
authorization.
target in where the positions are. I goofed. Yeah, I accidentally put too many contracts. I traded too many contracts. My mistake. I made a mistake. My position 3 was 8 contracts. It should have been a 0. Target 1 was 8. Target 2 was 20. So I goofed. Made a mistake. So my breakout was not allowed to trade. I tried to trade too many contracts. Big burst to the downside on oil. Did anyone trade that? Did anyone trade it? I'm wondering where your fill, if you got a fill that was usable. That was really a fast move. The oil market open's been very, very fast. Did it work, Nitin? Only hit target 1? Probably because the fill was halfway down the candle. So, what can you do to avoid mistakes? There's actually something you can do. That was the kind of trade, Francis, where some people would lose money and some people would win because the fill would be pretty bizarre. It was so fast. You could not count on everybody getting the same fill. That was
So according to the
ultra,
information,
ultra
OpenAI
fast.
signs an Amazon Web Service deal to sell
I'll show
AI to the
everybody
US
the video
government
so you
staff.
know what I'm talking about. But let me show you what you could do to
Again,
avoid
OpenAI clinches an
trade
AWS deal in a
errors.
bid to win
All right?
government contract. So
Make sure
OpenAI
you
on
have the
Friday
pre-trade
signed a new contract with
checklist
AWS to sell its AI to US government
available
employees for
before
both
your
classified
trades.
and unclassified
Even
work,
me,
according to 2 people with
I've
direct
been doing
knowledge
this
of the
100
agreement.
years. I could still benefit from looking through the pre-trade checklist. Check for the correct symbol. Is the chart on the correct time frame? You don't have to trade on my time frames, okay? Correct time frame means the time frame you want to trade on. Trade type. Is the trade type correct? Let's open the strategy. When you have the regular strategy open, news trader, trade type. If it's a breakout, it should be on breakout. It's a range, it should be on range. If it's a reverse continue, it should be on reverse continue. If you're trading cash, check your margins with the broker. All right. Activation. Make sure your time of trigger is correct. What time are you triggering the trade? Position size. And that would have found my error. I would have seen position 3 had way too many contracts and I would have fixed it. All right. So the pre-trade checklist will help you avoid mistakes. All right. Just go through it. It'll
Amazon quickly
also
extends
remind you to
gains to
sync
1.1% following
your
the
computer.
OpenAI deal report.
You don't have to sync before every trade. It's not a horrible idea to check your sync on a regular basis. There's no harm in doing that. All right. So the pre-trade checklist is in the file folder in the trade room. All right. And it's free. So I missed oil. Oh well. It won't be the last trade I miss because of making a mistake. Mistakes happen. One of the best things you can learn to do, and I talk about this all the time, forgive yourself. Don't beat yourself up if you make a mistake. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to put on an extra contract. You're going to get out of a trade too soon. You're going to put the wrong instrument on the chart. You're going to make mistakes. Don't beat yourself up. Just promise yourself to work harder and not do it the next time. And especially because of the way that we trade,
Qualcomm extends their gains to
you have to
2.2%
just
on new
go
buyback
out, go forward and
authorizations,
forget it
as well as
because
the
you might have
increase in their
another
quarterly
trade in 10
dividend.
minutes. You can't dwell on your mistakes. I always tell the same stories over and over, but years ago when I first started trading, if I lost $5 on a trade, I found it so debilitating that I couldn't trade the rest of the day. It was debilitating. Now, I mean, you just lose money, make money, things happen. You just go on, you keep going. If you have a plan, follow it. And you should always have a plan. Every week, every day, you should have a plan. Like my plan this morning is to trade all of our normal market opens, to watch pending homes. It's not been an easy trade, not one of the best home sale trades either. You can risk an account if you have enough prop accounts where one or two of them you just trade anything, no matter what the risk, then you can do extra trading. Now, you can get, when the prop accounts are on sale, you could get a Bullinox account where if you don't pass the eval, it's only $15 every month. That's not very much money to learn to trade, to learn how to deal with risk, to learn how certain events move, to practice trap trades. That's an investment in yourself. And look, you could do that in a sim account also and not pay anything. Francis, at this point, I'm so used to it um, that it's most of it's second nature, but I do make mistakes because there's a lot going on. But that's a big reason why I try not to beat myself up. Every now and then, a terrible mistake gets made that just bugs me no end, and it'll stay with me for a week or two. Like, very honestly, 2 weeks ago, I put the wrong time on the oil breakout, and it was like a 50 tick move. That still bothers me. That still bothers me. But, I mean, it almost bothers me as a comedy more than anything else. It's just a reminder to pay as close attention as you possibly can, but don't beat yourself up to the point where it affects what you do. Yes, it bothers me, and yes, it's aggravating, but now I really pay close attention to the time of that oil breakout trade. But I missed the number of contracts this morning, so anything can happen. You just don't want to torture yourself. That's all. Don't torture yourself. Give yourself some leeway. I'm dying to scalp oil on the short side, but it's a bad chase here. It's a bad chase. I don't like the chase because with the magnet, you've got it's off the low. There would have been a possible reversal. Now, it could keep making lows, invalidating that long signal, which is underwater. All right. But we're done with oil now. We did our oil trade. We trade the oil open, and then I get rid of it. So I'm going to modify all my oil setups. I'm going to put my MNQ chart on 0626 because we trade the MNQ at the open. And this morning is a little bit difficult because we've got indexes making highs. So that interferes with easy magnet trading. This morning is not easy magnets. It's hard. It's hard magnets because the indexes are making highs as we speak. We want to be trading magnets when the indexes are making their highs, not missing them, right? Magnets are often high of day, low of day exits. That's how you want to look at the magnet. High of day, low of day exits. So on the MNQ, I don't usually trade the magnet, but I watch signals. So I'll convert the oil magnet that I had on that chart to an MNQ magnet. I'll right click the chart, click strategy, highlight the magnet that's called CL. And the first thing I'll do is go scroll all the way down to the label and I'll change the name to MNQ magnet. Now MNQ I trade in a funded account. 66 is my funded account. And it's doing pretty well, that account. It's not quite ready for a payout. And my setup on the MNQ magnet is just to watch signals at the moment. And I'll just put 2 contracts on. Default target of -3. Position 1 is a 2. And my stop is 75 ticks. Remember, it's MNQ. It's only 50 cents a tick on the stop. All right? Everything else I'm leaving on default right now. Now you can do your button setups also. There's 2 buttons you could set up inside the new magnet. You could set up your ARS management, and that's your signal button. ARS now. Position 1 is a 2. All right, I'm going to trade 2 contracts. Maybe I get a signal, and I'm going to use the ARS button. So I have 2 contracts for position 1, a target of 50 ticks, and a 75 tick stop. And that's all I'm doing on that button. And then we also have the reverse continue buttons. And we can make that the same as our external reverse continue. 2 contracts. The stop is 75, and we had a 50 tick target. So we actually have 2 ways to put on a reverse continue. Remember, I chose the account I'm trading in. All right. Number 66, and it's labeled MNQ magnet. All of this is part of a magnet trade, right? Apply it, okay it. Now, the truth is, so when you turn the magnet on, you'll start to get signals, because that's what I'm watching. High of day, low of day signals and VWAP signals. I'm not turning on the high of day, low of day magnet. I'm not trading it. I prefer to use the reverse continue as a separate strategy, a separate setup. So remember on oil, I had a reverse continue set up on the chart. It's still there. I just have to modify it for the MNQ. So I'm going to right click the chart, click strategy. Instead of clicking news trader and putting an extra strategy on the chart, I'm modifying the strategy that's already there. JOBB reverse continue. That was set up for oil. I'm going to set it up for MNQ, reverse continue. Position 1, just 2 contracts, 50 tick target, 75 tick stop. Slide down, the reverse continue, trading it in account number 66, the funded account, if I take a trade. And I'm going to change the label from CL reverse continue to MNQ. Bingo. Now we have apply it, okay it. Now I've got an MNQ reverse continue set up, MNQ magnet, and now I need to set up my breakout. I had an oil breakout. I'm just going to remove it just to make things simple. So now I'm going to add my MNQ breakout, my market open strategy to the MNQ. Right click strategy. double click NewsTrader, and I'm going to load my template for the MNQ open. So I go to template, I go to load. It's called MNQ new open. So I just go through my templates. MNQ new open. I'm going to right click it and rename it today's date. I update it every day. Today's the 17th. And when I load it, it saves the new one, also the new template. 929.59 is the trigger. I'm on YouTube. Yep. 929.59 is the trigger. The bracket is 35. You choose the number of contracts you want to trade. That's up to you. I trade 2 positions. Target 1 is 30. Target 2 is 100. Target 1 stop move. I said yesterday we shouldn't move the stop. We should probably do a BE minus 20. Going to give up all the profit. But most of the time, moving the stop causes the MNQ to exit the trades early. If you move it to break even minus 20, you might exit with like $5 profit if it reverses on you. Let's try it today. BE minus 15. 15 ticks away from our entry, and our stop is 125. Under optional, my vertical line is disabled as part of my template. I'm just going to scroll down, stroll down, or scroll down. The account, everything's in that funded account. Everything's not going to be traded at once. Breakout MNQ open, apply it. Now, before we go away, I'm going to put the chart on SIM, put the software account on SIM, and I want to look at the bracket
NVIDIA
width.
extends gains
So I'm
to
going to
1%.
put the time on 0. Instead of 9:29:59, the time is 00. Apply it and OK it. Put the chart
Israel's
trader
PM Netanyahu
on
says that
SIM.
Israel is eroding the Iran regime to give people a chance to oust it.
I want to see how wide the brackets are for trade management purposes.
Order submitted.
All right. I want to be able to manage the trade. So that looks good. Breakout, uncheck it.
Order canceled.
And now I'm going to go back, strategy, highlight the breakout, put the time to the correct time now, 9:29:59, bracket 35. I have 2 positions with X number of contracts. Target 1 is 30, target 2 is 100. Target 1 stop move is break even minus 15, and my stop is 125. Now, this is all streamed on YouTube, so you can watch all of this again later by just going to our YouTube channel. I'm choosing the account I'm trading in, which is number 66. Apply it, OK it, put the chart trader account on 66 or you won't see your orders. Now we're ready to go. Turn on the trade. Now, YM we already set up, right? We have a magnet. And we're still making highs,
Israel's
so
PM
I'm going to
Netanyahu
probably
says there are
wait
many more
on a
surprises in
YM
store.
trade this morning. And we have a reverse continuation, but I don't have a YM magnet this morning, so we're just going to wait. I don't have a YM trade. RTY, I'm going to put a reverse continue on the RTY. Strategy, news trader. Change the breakout to a reverse continue. Position 1 is a 1. Target 1 is 35 ticks. The stop is 35. Scroll down. Choose the account for the RTY reverse continue. 32 is the prop account I'm going to
Index
use.
futures now extending
Labeled the
gains in the
trade
pre-market.
RTY reverse continue. All right. That's my RTY reverse continue. Apply it, okay it, enable it, and make sure the chart trader is on account number 32. Why are these markets just going up, up, and up? These markets have no basis in reality. Everyone realizes that, right? The markets are just the markets. They just do what they want. It's not really based on anything in like they used to always just respond to real life, to what's going on in the world. Now the markets, they are almost an entity unto themselves. And sometimes they respond to real life. I think you know what I mean. So RTY, we have a range trade that we've been trying on the open also. Right click the chart, click the strategy, double click news trader. We're adding a second strategy to the chart. Change the breakout to a range trade. Now, the start time, you go down to range trade. The start time is 9:25. 9:25:00. 6 ticks above the range, 6 ticks below the range. Check, show the range graphics on chart. That takes care of drawing the range on the chart. It draws the range and it starts at 9:25. Go up to the top, trading. It's a range trade. Activate range end. So it's either an activate time or a range end time. If it's a range trade, it's going to use the range end time, which is 9:30. So we're generating a 5-minute range, and if you make a mistake, just fix it. 9:30:00. So we're starting our range at 9:25. We're ending it at 9:30. Position 1 is a 1. Position 2 is a 1. And I use a target of 10 for target 1. Target 2 is a 20. And I do go to break even if it hits my first target. Target 1 stop move, break even. And I have been using a slightly bigger target. I've been of 35. I like the stop to be outside the range. When the range draws, now I'm going to choose an account for it. Same account as the reverse continue. Label it RTY range trade or RTY open, whatever you want to call it. Just name it different from your other trades. So when you look at the control panel, you know which trade is which. And when you're set up, when everything's ready, I'm going to get rid of the vertical line on entry. Under optional, I'm going to uncheck the vertical line. It just, for me, it gets in the way these days. Apply it, okay it, and now we have all of our setups are ready to go. So nothing will happen on the RTY until 9:25. At 9:25, the RTY will start calculating and drawing the beginning of the range. And it'll calculate and draw the range for 5 minutes. And when the range is over, 6 ticks above the top of the range, it'll put in a long entry, and 6 ticks below the bottom of the range, it puts your short entry. Or we could cancel the range trade by unchecking the enabled box if you wanted to for whatever reason. And you could trade a reverse continuation trade with the buttons. Instant long, instant short. So that's our possibilities for the RTY. And you just want to always double check that you're on the right account. So the account display, the RTY we're trading number 32. I also have the YM on 32. That's a lot on one account. But you know, we don't really have a setup for the YM, so we don't have a trade, a morning trade. So we're okay. I think we're fine. On the YM, we have two setups. We have our reverse continue, right? YM,
S&P
reverse
500, Nasdaq
continue,
100 futures, both extending gains ahead of the opening
35
bell
tick
this morning.
target, 35 tick stop. Okay, that's our reverse continue. And we also have our magnet. Magnet on YM, we usually do high of day, low of day, and we take the trades. This morning, we're making highs still. I'm not jumping into short signals right now. The market's too bullish. So I'm just ignoring our signals. Notice on the RTY, the range is being drawn. So when I say I want to stop outside of the range, I mean below the bottom line, which shows your short order, or above the top line, which shows your long order. I like to be preferably 5 ticks above and below those areas, depending on risk. And then finally, we have a reverse continue set up for the MNQ. That's a 50 tick target with a 75 tick stop. I'm not jumping into anything right now. We're just waiting on the open. But our reverse continue is a 50 tick target and a 75 tick stop. All right. And we have our breakout. Every morning we have a breakout on the NQ, and almost every morning it makes money. Every now and then it stops out. And that breakout setup is in a funded account. And that setup is a breakout trade is the trade type. I'm triggering, activating at 9:29.59. The bracket's 35. I choose the number of contracts I'm willing to trade for 2 positions. I have 2 positions. And I have a 30 tick target for target 1, a 100 tick target for target 2, a 125 tick stop. And today I'm trying to keep my stop out of the way. My target 1 stop move is BE minus 15. So if my first target of 30 ticks gets hit, it's moving my stop to 15 ticks below entry. And then you scroll down, you make sure you choose your label, breakout MNQ, choose the correct account to trade it on, apply it, and OK it. And then enable it, turn it on. So, interestingly, we did get a pretty good short signal finally. But I'm not taking signals so close to the open. It's not the right time for me to take a trade. I ignore the signals now. They don't really have that much meaning unless you're taking a 20-second scalp. If you think you can get a minute trade in. You don't want to be stuck in a trade
Israel's PM
before the
Netanyahu says, I
open,
spoke at length on
right?
Monday with
And
Trump
then
on
the
the
market
issue of the
opens
Gulf.
and you're stuck in a trade. I don't trade before the open generally. I don't put myself in the market before the open generally.
1 minute now until we get the market on open imbalance.
So on the RTY, the top line becomes the order when the range is done calculating, and the bottom line becomes the short order. YM, I just don't have a setup this morning because it's just making new highs. I'm not going to chase it and just jump into a long. I mean, a lunatic could do that. You don't have to be a lunatic. Maybe you want to jump in long. So I'll just watch the RTY and the
10
MNQ.
seconds.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order
Markets on
order
open
failed.
imbalance. S&P
Order
500
failed.
buy side
Order
342
failed.
I was trying
million.
to
Nasdaq
scalp
Order
100
bigger
failed.
and
sell
bigger.
side
I couldn't get
48
there.
million. Dow 30 buy side 46 million. Mag 7 sell side
Nice
47 million.
profit. Very nice profit on the MNQ. Now the RTY didn't trigger yet. It's going to just be, I'm turning off my RTY range, my RTY open. Okay, I don't want to trade it now. I think I have to check my RTY. I want to make sure I set it up right. It should have triggered, so I need to check it, the RTY. So we have a reverse continue on the RTY. We made money on the MNQ, and I just didn't have a YM trade this morning. So I'm just going to watch for a minute or two. Did the RTY have a winning trade and I didn't notice it? Is that what happened, folks? That's what it appears. And I'm not sure. No, it didn't. I have to look. Let me look. What did I do on the range with the RTY? I started the range at 925. I ended it at 930. I never saw the orders. Oh, so my RTY, how much were your winners on the RTY? How much were your winners? Oh, okay. So my RTY was a winner. I just didn't see it happen. It happened so fast. We could watch the video. So that kind of makes sense. YM, we had no trade. This is a very bullish market. We will at some point get a YM short signal. After all those highs, it's not going to be a terrible signal. It's kind of an interesting signal when it finally comes. Sander, what YM range are you trading? What YM range are you trading? Christian, was that more helpful today in terms of the speed? Okay, good, good. So these markets they've really been pushing up. I'm not dying to jump into any shorts at the moment, honestly.
Qualcomm shares are up 3.1% after the company unveils the $20 billion
Now,
stock
at
buyback
some
program.
point, we're going to get a short
According to the
signal
Nikkei,
on
Nippon
the
Steel are to
YM.
receive
You'll get
$5.7
them on
billion
the
in
MNQ
loans following
also.
the US Steel acquisition.
And you have to decide, do you want to go
And it's in
short
the
in a
S&P
market that
500
kind of looks
extending
like it's
gains
on
out of the opening
steroids
gate this
right now?
morning.
I would do one thing. Nope, I don't need to do anything. But the market's just pushing, pushing, pushing.
Treasury Secretary Bessent says we will issue a statement on the Paris talks in the next days.
And we
So
did
keep in
have
mind,
our
Bessent and crew
RTY
have been in Paris
execute.
speaking with their
So
Chinese
checking under
counterparts over the last couple of
executions,
days.
RTY did execute. Ah, okay, Sandra, I got you. Okay, yeah. Langford's YM is a good setup. I should probably add that to our setup if we're making new high after new high after new high. Trading Langford's YM is a good way to trade. It's very similar to the RTY range. Very similar.
Uber shares are up 4% after the open here, following the
Isn't it
company
the
and
same? I think
Nvidia
it's the
are
same.
planning a robotaxi rollout in 28
I think
cities
it's the
starting
same.
next year.
5-minute range, 9:25 to 9:30. So another really nice open. Really nice open. Very quickly, let me look at the video. Let's take a look at the RTY and see what happened there. So save the video. Just for fun, because I didn't see it. Go over to our RTY at 9:30. Okay, there's the
And so
range.
Besant was just commenting on a post on X, again about the US-China talks in Paris, saying they'll be issuing a statement in the next days.
All right, here comes the RTY. So orders go on the chart at 9:30. Orders go on the chart at 9:30. There they are. And there's the fill. Bingo. Oh, it pulled back. See, if you're only watching the RTY, you might have been able to grab more profit by getting your stop out of the way. The market was so bullish that you might want to move your stop not so tight. But when you have 3 setups, I didn't even watch it trade. You know what I mean? So one of the downsides of too many setups is you lose the ability to manage all your trades. That's a negative. That is a negative. You want to manage your trades if you can. So maybe I could have made a little bit more money on the RTY had I been able to manage it. So that's something to consider, and it's a reason to understand why you don't have to trade every setup at the open. Pick one or two that you like and that are working for you. We're not here saying you must trade all of these. We're here giving you what we think are some pretty good options. Okay? If you don't like breakouts, don't do the MNQ. Okay? All right, I did say we're going to look at pending homes. Pending home sales is at 10 o'clock. Do you want to risk like a whole prop account on the pending homes trade? Most people probably don't. So let me create a new video. All right. I'm going to end our YouTube stream this morning. I'm going to thank
Fitch
everybody who's
Ratings
watching
comment
us
the
on
Iran
YouTube.
conflict raises risks
Thank
to
you so
developed
much for
markets,
joining
growth
with
and
us.
fiscal outlook.
Just a quick recap. We made money on the MNQ Open, we made money on the RTY Open, and we did not have a YM trade this morning. Okay? Thanks everyone on YouTube. We will be streaming tomorrow morning. So have a great rest of your day. Hit the notification bell, hit the like button. That would help us a lot. And I'll see you tomorrow.